The year is 2019, and almost everyone in the world are trying to play some random game that nobody knows about. During this time, CS.GO seemed to be in a period of stagnation. But to try and get the players back to CS.GO, Valve released Operation Shattered Web, introducing a wave of fresh new content. But one of these new features would go on to shake the meta up and make the game pay to win for the first time in its history. But how could Valve release such a broken update, and how did it get fixed? This is the story of Counter-Strike's forgotten pay to win meta. Operation Shattered Web released agent skins, and this was the first time Valve made it possible for players to change their physical appearance in-game. To a casual shooter like Fortnite, this seems pretty harmless, but to a competitive shooter like Counter-Strike, this challenged the seriousness of the game. Many maps have a very distinct color palette, like Cache and Ancient is green, Dust 2 and Anubis is very tan, and Train and Vertigo is very grey. Before this update, map makers could control which player model was used on the maps, and they always chose the model who had the most contrast to their maps to make it easier to spot your enemies. Because one of the most infuriating ways to die in Counter-Strike is when you feel you couldn't see your enemy. And this update added agents with very distinct color palettes, causing for example the normal blue CT models to be green instead. And this is where the problem started. Let's see if you can spot the CT in these two clips. That was probably harder than normal, right? And this exact feature infuriated the player base and really fucking sucked. It effectively made some maps have a pay-to-win side, as the camouflage these skins had naturally created an unfair advantage to players who didn't have the money to buy these skins. The great thing about it was that this was where the players drew the line of what cosmetic change they would tolerate in-game. And the outrage was real. Organizations such as ESEA chose to outright ban the new player models in competitive play. Guys, now let's have the typical small YouTuber talk. It turns out 99.4% of my viewers aren't subscribed. If you like my videos, it would really help the channel if you subscribed and liked my videos, as it would push my videos more in the algorithm. Thank you guys, and please consider subscribing. A common myth is that the agents are outright banned in pro play, but they aren't. Pro players instead have a gentleman's agreement to not use them in pro play, as they could create a competitive advantage. Funnily enough, the pro player JL chose to use the memeiest agent skin of them all, Number K, Condom Man, in the major, which caused some big drama in the pro scene.
How's nobody talking about this?
Very uncomfortable.
It's the major!
To be in two mollies cause a lot of problems.
Number K! It's a gentleman's agreement!
Like, not with the angles.
Is it allowed? Technically, yes. There is no rule,
1v1 here.
but this has never happened before. I've never seen this before.
And Stuka reacted in-game with nice condom, marking the only time an agent skin was used in-game. The camouflage problem got somewhat fixed on some maps in CS.GO by Valve tweaking the background lighting in some spots. But you could say this wasn't enough, as some spots was still overpowered. And in CS2, the advantage has been severely diminished as the game became much brighter, and it almost seems as the maps was made with the agent visibility in mind. But did this fix the pay-to-win problem? No. Agent skins began trending again in 2022 as the YouTuber Ansimist made an experiment testing if the player models have different hitboxes. And this theory turned out to be true. So true in fact that a professional model such as the Condom Man had a 16.75% smaller hitbox than its normal T-agent counterparts. The CT side agents listed here had a 10.32% smaller hitbox than their normal counterparts, which was a way too big advantage in a competitive game like Counter-Strike. And again, the models got criticized for giving a pay-to-win advantage. This only recently got fixed, a year later when CS2 was released. Now every T model has the same hitbox, and every CT model has the same hitbox, making the game fair for everyone, finally marking the end of the pay-to-win meta. But why did Valve add such a seemingly stupid update to their competitive shooter? You see, Valve is a for-profit company that wants to make as much money as possible, and when they saw Fortnite shoveling in money from their battle pass and skins, they couldn't resist. The Shattered Web update also added a battle pass, different from earlier operations, which had missions that needed to be completed, such as a single player game. Sadly, this was removed, and I really miss this type of operation, which we probably won't see ever again, as the battle pass made so much money for Valve. I personally think it is great that the pay-to-win style doesn't exist in Counter-Strike, as it does not belong here, although I still want the skins to be in the game. I love the skins, but hopefully Valve won't fuck up again and make the skins or other items in the game pay to win ever again.